Hello, my name is Gabriela Ranza. I am the founder of EthiGal. Here's my contact information, by the way. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. First of all, thank you so much for letting me pitch and hearing me out. I'm very passionate about EthiGal. I have always loved shopping. I am a huge fashionista, and scouting the racks at the mall has always been my favorite activity. However, about a year ago, I learned the detrimental impacts of fashion to the environment and to people. And it completely changed my mindset. I felt guilty shopping at my favorite stores. And that is why I created EthiGal. Fashion is the second largest polluting industry in the world. It produces more carbon emissions than all maritime shipping and shipping by planes. Fast fashion has significant environmental and human costs. A lot of workers are paid less than a living wage and cannot afford to take care of their families. Labor rights are essentially non-existent in many countries that you get your clothing from. However, there is a great opportunity right now. 54% of Gen Z state that they're willing to spend an extra 10% or more on sustainable products, and 50% of millennials are saying the same thing. The fashion industry also has significant impacts on the environment. It uses up a lot of resources. Your cotton t-shirt took 2,700 gallons of water to produce. Insane. We do have some sustainable brands who are working on this. However, they are mainly geared towards bohemian styles, and their prices are through the roof for the average consumer. For young women who really care about shopping sustainably. Also, we can see a huge trend in worldwide secondhand apparel. The market is steadily growing by the billions every year. EthiGal provides an ethical, eco-friendly alternative to fast fashion, so women can ditch fast fashion without ditching their style or spending a fortune on sustainable brands. We upcycle garments that would otherwise end up in landfills into modern, sleek staples and statement pieces that make women feel like a boss. We are totally for the boss lady aesthetic. As such, each purchase will support Dress for Success. It's a nonprofit that helps women achieve financial independence. With each garment purchased by EthiGal, we will donate one to Dress for Success. You may not have heard of upcycling before. It is a growing trend right now, actually. We can see women right now are turning old garments into something completely new. I can take a $2 dress shirt from a thrift shop and turn it into a really stylish dress. Our business model. So we will be upcycling cheap vintage garments from thrift shops. As I mentioned previously, you can take a $2 garment and turn it into a very chic outfit. We will be serving our consumers through direct-to-consumer e-commerce. We will be starting a website, selling on platforms like Depop and Etsy. We will also be partnering with upcycle designers, as well as myself, thrift shops, and fashion influencers. We will be able to get bulk pricing from thrift shops by partnering with them, and obviously marketing with fashion influencers. Okay, our go-to-market plan is to reach our women through social media, ads, and our website. We want to keep them through social media engagement, creating our fashionable tribe, as well as email marketing and a loyalty program. We want to grow with new collections, as well as referrals, and spreading the word through social media. Right now, we would be competing with sustainable brands, rental services, and thrift shops. Sustainable brands right now, there are new ones entering the market. However, again, a lot of them have a very basic style, or bohemian, or an outdoorsy style. They also are very expensive, rightly so, as they are paying their workers and using sustainable materials, which cost more. That is why EthiGal is competitive, because we can cut costs through upcycling old vintage garments and other materials. Really, the possibilities are endless. As we grow, we can start to use other materials. I've seen companies use seat belts, turning those into belts, and all kinds of materials. So we can start with vintage and thrift right now, but really in the future, you can use all kinds of materials to upcycle. There are also fashion rental services happening right now. However, there are questions about how sustainable that really is. Even though you are reusing the garments, the companies are still dry cleaning them and shipping them. There are also thrift shops, obviously. However, through my customer discovery, I've learned that a lot of women do not like hunting through the racks. They don't want to spend all their time shopping, looking through a thrift shop. They don't know what they're going to get. With EthiGal, they know that their clothing is going to be chic. We will have outfit staples and statements all organized on our website. Our management team is me. I have sustainable fashion marketing experience. I previously worked with a men's online sustainable fashion marketplace called EcoStylist, doing their social media marketing. So I have interacted with different sustainable fashion brands and the community. I am a fashionista. I have fashion and sewing experience. I sewed my prom dress. Yes, I've taken fashion classes and plan on continuing my fashion education. I also have a fashion Instagram account where I post for my followers different outfits of the day, etc. I'm getting a degree in marketing, and I'm part of the Founders Club and the Hawkeye Startup Accelerator. So we just recently pivoted. I'm still figuring out the costs right now. With shipping and everything, eco-friendly packaging, etc. Originally, it was going to be a sustainable brand with completely new products. However, I realized through my customer discovery that the sustainable fashion brands right now, their prices are just too high for Gen Zs and a lot of millennials who are underserved in this market. So our goal is to sell 200 units by the end of the year. And we can look at metrics like our loyalty program, how many followers we have, also measuring the standard allowed minute or labor productivity. So how much it costs for, how long it takes and how much it costs to sew and modify the garments. Our current status accomplishments and our use of funds. Well, I won in the Best Social Impact category for the Iowa Innovation Challenge in the fall. We just recently pivoted. That's our status. Currently trying to figure out all the costs associated with upcycling. Also building a website, and we started an Instagram page, and I'm building a following through that, as well as doing customer interviews, which I've done 25 so far. I'm in the Hawkeye Startup Accelerator. I do believe this business can really scale. Again, there are just so many opportunities with upcycling, all the kinds of materials that you can use. Again, thrifting is just the start, but it is a quick way to start, as those are easily accessible for me starting out. But we intend to grow. So thank you for listening.
All right, any questions?
I have a question. I'm just curious. Oh, this is a bad angle. Do you have any competitors?
There are a few upcycling makers on platforms like Depop. I've seen a few on Instagram, but there are currently no well-known upcycling brands at all.
And what's your Instagram account?
At EthiGal Fashion.
Oh, and I just wanted to say I love the idea too. And
Thank
your work
you.
is amazing. So good job.
I have a question. So being a sewer myself, tell me, what's your process when you go to upcycle something? Do you have like a process that you actually use that is reproducible for others?
Yeah, so there are a lot of what I've learned has been from YouTube and Makers Online, which I plan to partner with them. That would also help marketing as well. But yeah, so I typically will design something and then I will find pieces that are similar. So a lot of stuff I'll base around a certain garment. So for example, I'll say, hey, what do I think I can make out of a men's dress shirt? And then I'll kind of sew and make patterns based off of that. I'll also look at current videos of other people to see what they've done with it and then modify it and make it my own.
Excuse me, what sales outlets do you expect to make use of? Do you feeling like having a brick and mortar store or selling online through?
So in the beginning, I would be selling online. Platforms like Depop and Etsy have a lot of vintage shoppers and shoppers that are looking for really unique pieces. And a lot of them are on there because they want to shop more sustainably, and secondhand is more sustainable. Eventually, I would love a brick and mortar shop, but I know right now reaching the Gen Z and millennial customer segments, it is going to be online in the beginning.
Okay, thank you.
Of course.
That was a really nice presentation, Gabrielle, beautifully branded and making a good case for your value proposition. I can confirm that my two daughters 100% thrift all of their clothes now. They're very into fashion, and they no longer feel comfortable in a retail store. So this is a huge movement with your generation. And it's just the conundrum that you say they really enjoy style, but they're aware of where clothes come from. So I think you have a big opportunity, and you're a great candidate for like one hero product, like the EthiGal skirt or the EthiGal jumper. And if you could get some some exposure to that through some earned media, and something like that could catch fire through a celebrity Instagram account or a magazine layout or something. I could see that happening for you. So I would search for what is that really unique, remarkable EthiGal skirt or jumper that everyone wants.
Thank you.
Yes.
Hi, Gabrielle. This is Kim. And great presentation. I love fashion too. I don't know that I can transform things like you can, but I was curious, and you might have mentioned it and I missed, but have you considered working with existing resale shops, either for getting the items you need or helping them transform things?
Yes. So through my customer discovery, I talked with a vintage shop owner, and she said that when you're buying in bulk from thrift shops, you can kind of work with them to get bulk pricing. So what I was thinking, for example, turning men's dress shirts, that's like one of the items that I have been trying to design around. If I can get bulk prices, normally they're like a local one around me, each of them has a flat rate normally of $4. If I can work with these businesses to reduce the prices and stick with certain types of items, then yes, I can work with them.
It's just a great idea, and you're just like right where at the right time. I think it's awesome, and I'm looking at your Instagram right now, and it looks pretty good, but I want to see more.
Yes, I just recently pivoted. I knew that I wanted to make a sustainable brand. I've been designing clothes, but it wasn't until just a few days ago, actually, that I realized that I could, through upcycling, find a way to cut the costs and still be environmentally friendly and ethical. Because a lot of the women that I talked to, they wanted sustainable brands, but there was just no way to bring the cost down enough to make it more widely accessible. And I want to be able to reach women in college who want to shop more sustainably, but then also women who are millennials, even if they do have a bit more money, but they don't want to drop $200 on a dress from Reformation. So I think that, yes, so now that I know where I'm going with the upcycling, now I can definitely push it more with my marketing because I know what I am marketing.
Hi, Gabrielle. Very, very cool presentation. I've actually had the chance to work with a few upcycling vendors in my scene, and kind of like you mentioned, they're all bohemian kind of vendors. Can you kind of clarify, are you making like one-of-one individual pieces with the stuff you're upcycling, or are you kind of creating a line of like one mass-produced piece out of a bunch of shirts?
Yes, so it's kind of a mix.
Okay.
So, for example, with men's dress shirts, right? I could buy a bunch of different men's dress shirts in different sizes. I want to be as size inclusive as possible. That's very important to me. So if I can buy men's dress shirts, and they're all going to be different. They're all vintage pieces. But if I can buy a bunch of different ones and then do the same style or the same upcycle and design with them, that way it's still one of a kind, yet the style, someone else can get it. If somebody else bought that same style that you like, you'll still be able to get it, but it's going to be a different shirt, if that makes sense.
Hey, Gabrielle. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to ask Gabrielle as she starts out, are you going to be doing the sewing, or are you going to find a kind of a seamstress to do that back end stuff?
Starting out, I will be doing the sewing. I used actually funds from business competitions to purchase the sewing machines that I need. So starting out, it will be me. However, as we grow, I will be talking to some of the local tailors in Iowa City and alterations places. But starting out, it will be me.
Yeah, and by the way, great pivot. I think that you brought a lot of focus to your business. So good job of doing that.
Thank you.
Question here. First of all, great idea, great project. I love it. I'm just curious if there's any specific liability you found about like upcycling. So, I mean, is fashion fair use, or are you concerned that you might like run into a pattern that someone could come back and say, "Hey, this is my copyrighted pattern"? Like, I'm just curious what you found about that, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, completely. So with the fashion industry, essentially, it kind of trickles down. It starts out with these top designer brands, the colors they choose, the styles, the cuts, and then it trickles down to the cheaper fast fashion brands. A lot of them are just
Vermilion.
Essentially. It's really hard to legally own a design. So that's not much of a concern. My biggest concern is relabeling things, which I've looked into. It's just ensuring that it's very clear that there aren't any logos from other companies on the clothing, and making sure that the fiber content and certain information in the original tags are there that are legally required, and then ensuring that it is clear that it is altered and not the product of the original brand. But I do plan on speaking to an attorney to double check with all of these things. But yes, I've definitely been looking into that. Very good question. Thank you.
I know intellectual property attorney. If you want a referral, I can connect you to.
Thank you.
What you just said reminded me of that scene in The Devil Wears Prada where Meryl Streep is like, "Whoa," you know what I'm talking about, right? It's like, "Whoa, that sweater like, you're wearing." Yeah.
The blue, yes.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you.
So I know you're focusing on women's clothes right now because there's probably a much larger market for upcycling of women's garments. But what does the landscape look like on the men's side?
Well, I have thought about that. I would love to make menswear. However, the name is EthiGal, so I'm not really sure if that's going to be a barrier for men. However, I would love to in the future maybe under a different name expand into menswear. But for now, I'm very strong on my strong women empowerment, boss lady image. sleek for now. Yes.
Nice.
What about EthiGuy and EthiKid?
There you go.
Ooh. Well, okay. It's settled. EthiGal.
Nice.
I see a question in the comments. No, I have not. I would love to watch I Love Lucy though.
Yeah, it looks like in the comments, consider hiring qualified students as tailors or sewers.
Yes, I would love that. So my original goal or idea for EthiGal was to employ women in economically disadvantaged situations, such as hiring women from inner city areas in Chicago, or even in other countries, etc. So even though it's starting out just me, my goal would be to have the garments sewn in a way that empowers women in disadvantaged situations. So for now, while it's just me, I want to partner with Just for Success again, so that I can still somehow help women in those situations, economically empower them. However, as it scales, that's definitely the goal. But yeah, in the beginning, I would love to work with students.
Got time probably for one more question if there's another one out there. Not hearing any. I guess I'll go on to my final question. What can we as the community do to help you?
Yes, please follow my Instagram at EthiGal Fashion and spread the word.
Very nice. Is that the best way to get in touch with you after this event's over? Is it through Instagram or email or?
Instagram, or my email is Gabrielle at ethigalfashion.com.
Very nice.
And then my Instagram handle again is at EthiGal Fashion.
Very cool, everyone.